Chapter 2, Dream Work and 144,000. Yes, my brother, it is my estimation that it will all happen by the year 2014. But as you know, only the 24 elders know the future in all its details. Nonetheless, it's still possible to make a reliable estimate based on how fast the information is being spread to Black people. The way I see Blackroot science spreading in the few years we have been doing this, I would say the 144,000 will be ready by 2014. The final determining factor is the rising of the 144,000. As soon as they have all risen from self forgetfulness, that will officially signal the end of the non Black rule on Earth. That, of course, does not mean that when groups here and there declare that they are part of the 144,000, then it is done. It must be real. They must separate not only mentally, but also physically and set up their own communities where they can live independent of the white man's world, socially and economically. When that is fulfilled, most definitely we will see all other things I talked about come to pass, including the appearance of the Antichrist as well as the return of Yahweh.
Can you give us some more pointers or just a general idea on the best or fastest way to reach the number? What do we as individuals do to get more people exposed to the info?
There is no best or fastest way to do it. The advice that I offer everyone who asks this question is let the material in Blackroot science speak for itself. The important thing is to expose as many people as you can to the book simply by telling them about it whenever you can, on the internet and in person, and making sure they know where to find it. That is why I insisted when you requested to publish the book for sale to also publish a free copy, either in PDF or Microsoft format. Remember, I also suggested that, if at all possible, to make an audio book because not everyone likes to read. You need not worry that everyone will take the free book and never buy the print copy. Many people who first take an electronic copy will later get a print copy because people still prefer to study from a real book that they can underline and highlight. Those are really the serious people who are most likely part of the 144,000. And many of them have friends and families that they know very well and are in a better position than me and you to tell if they are too are ready for this knowledge. Some of these people they live with their they live with are their neighbors, and some are even in prisons all over the country. So the dissemination of this information will have a self-increasing effect. The more people who hear about it, the quicker it will spread, and the most effective way to learn is when you study with other people. When that happens, then leaders will naturally arise among these study groups and take charge and begin to work in a practical way to carry the mission of the 144,000 forward. Just keep doing the work of exposing people to it, as you have been doing so well thus far. The so called elect are already all here. They just need to be exposed to this knowledge, and it won't be long before they realize that this knowledge is meant for them. It is their destiny to be the future rulers of the earth. The entire Black population depends on them, and they will fulfill their destiny. As you know from your own experience, me and my wife have met many of you in the dream world. Presently, only a handful have advanced far enough to the point where they can remember the experience. But as they continue to do the exercises in the book, especially the thought and dream exercises, then more will become conscious in their dreams, and it will then become possible for us to work with them in the lucid dream. Remember, as I told you, the number is all we need. The rest of the Black population may continue to sympathize with this evil system, thinking that it can be corrected, reformed, or adjusted in some way. As soon as that number is reached, it will have a cascading effect starting in the mental realm and eventually filtering to the physical realm. Then all Black people will finally lose all sympathy for the races. Without it, their whole structure will fall. At the present time, it is being supported only by our sympathy. The protection they enjoyed for 6,000 years ended back in 1914, and now only our sympathy continues to keep them in power.
I must confess, I too have not reached the point where I can remember the other encounters I have had with you in the dream world. The one that I told you about is the only one I remember vividly. Other than that, I have a very vague recall. What is it about that one in particular that made it stand out? Was I doing something different?
I wouldn't say you were doing anything different, but I had never before seen you as calm as you were at that time. It seemed to me that you had no major problems to deal with. Either that or you had decided to simply put them aside and concentrate more on this. See, even though we may have personal problems most of the time, it is possible to put them aside for a while. Just put them out of our minds so we can concentrate better on something else. It is really a waste of time and energy to worry constantly about any particular problem, no matter how serious it is. When you deal with the problem, that's when you should worry about it. When you are not in a position to do anything about it, what good does it do to worry about it? You will have enough time to worry about it when the time comes to deal with it. This is something that you can practice more, i.e., how to put yourself in a state of mind where you can gather all of your attention and focus on the matter at hand. When you do this, you will discover that your daily worries do not enter into your dreams as much as they used to. That enables you to separate your conscious mind from your other subconscious thoughts that are always with you, whether you are asleep or awake. If you do it enough in the waking state, it will naturally and effortlessly filter into your sleeping state. This will help you to have a worry free, relaxed mind as you fall asleep, thus enabling you to remember your dreams better, even to become conscious while asleep and have a lucid dream.
Can you tell me a method or particular steps I can use to practice? Maybe something I can do every night to put me in a more or better state of relaxation?
Sure. Of course, doing the recalls just before going to sleep will help you very much to relax. You can also supplement that with a simple daily routine, especially on those nights when you are not doing a recall. Just take about 2, 3 minutes when you go to bed to do this. Sit in a relaxed position with your head looking forward. Your hands should be relaxed by your sides on your lap. Then close your eyes. It is better to do this in the dark, but if not possible, just closing your eyes is enough. While in this position, bring up a particularly vivid image to your mind of anything you saw that day. Hold the image continuously in your mind for 1 to 2 minutes while mentally looking at all its details. It can be a flower, a house, a bird, any object that you remember vividly with all its colors. You may even prepare for this during the day by choosing something and looking at it intently to memorize its details. It's not necessary to hold it for longer than 1 or 2 minutes. What this will do is still your mind, removing all other thoughts, especially if you had things at the back of your mind that you were worried about. It is easier if the object is a living thing, such as an apple instead of a tennis ball or a bird instead of a car. The reason is because when you try to bring the object to into your mind, living things will meet you halfway, for lack of a better expression. They will literally sense that you are trying to communicate with them and will naturally move their own attention, their mind to meet your mind. With dead objects, you have to carry it all the way into your attention like a dead weight because they cannot become conscious of the fact that you are trying to place your attention on them. I think you understand what I mean. After doing this every night for several weeks, you will begin to notice that you fall into a much more relaxed state of sleep. A relaxed state of sleep is important for helping you to remember your dreams more clearly when you wake up, as well as to help you become lucid in your dreams.
When I hold the image constantly for 2 minutes, should I be looking at one side of it or a part of it constantly the whole time?
No, you may look it up and down all over and even move your focus around and look at all its sides. As long as it remains in your mind continuously for 1 to 2 minutes, it will take all your attention away from everything else and cause your mind to relax.
Does it have to be a different object every day?
No, it can be the same object. If you find that focusing on the same object repeatedly helps you to see it more clearly, then do the same object. If you don't have much of a problem visualizing, then you can bring some variety to the process and do different objects. It's all up to you.
Thank you again.